Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Solo Dolo podcast of Ascension with V. I am your host, Stacia Jeanette, aka V, and today we're just gonna dive in on a topic that kind of hit my heart recently because I just did a personal accomplishment and it was going live. And for those of you who know me, like it's not a favorite thing of mine. I don't like being in the spotlight. I don't like it. I don't have an ounce of Leo in my, sorry, Leo's caught a stray. Leo's caught a stray. Whoops. Anyways, but all facts here. I don't have an ounce of Leo in my birth chart, although I do have a my Chiron. My Chiron is in Leo, which also adds to the reason why I don't like doing the live stream thing. My Chiron wound in the Leo fifth house of your creations, creativity, and the creative self, play and your inner child and things of this nature. It signifies two things, at least for me personally, was the wounded inner child, the inner child not being allowed to have fun and play and being restricted as a child, or having to grow up fast, step into like a mature or an adult role at an early age, thus repressing or restricting the amount of fun and childlike activity or play that a child could have had in childhood years. But then on top of that, even more so, is the creativity aspect for me, where I don't like putting my, it's not even don't like, it's just kind of it's like an overwhelming feeling for me to put my creations and my ideas and my thoughts out there for all to see. Especially when you have past life remembrance of how you were persecuted or perceived and treated based on the things that you created that were considered taboo, or like witchcraft and sorcery, back in the days, and but like I still have ingrained soul memory of a lot of these times in past lives where shit just didn't go well for me because of the things that I was creating and the things that I was putting out there and the way that people perceived me. And so that's what this particular Solo Dolo podcast is going to be about, if God Source Universe will allow so. And but yeah, is this was born out of me doing this live stream because I don't like doing live streams. And I also, this this recently, when was it? I think it was on the 24th or the 25th of this month, my Saturn entered opposition with my Sun in Virgo. And I can always feel when my Saturn time is approaching, when there's about to be any kind of like Saturn, things going on with me, is cyclically. And it's always in April. From like April to June has been like usually historically has been like a rough few months for me. But I cracked the case the other night, and it's because when you avoid taking the pause and falling back and allowing yourself to analyze, where you're at in life, what you got going on, what is or is not working for you, and you just continue trying to like trudge forward and like spin on the hamster wheel when things are clearly out of alignment, when you're like swimming up against the rough waters, going the opposite direction, is kind of like a resistance is futile thing, but still trying to resist. That's when God Source Universe comes in, like with the swift kick of justice, and like snatches you back, snatches your head back, like you getting your hair combed. Like, listen, black people will understand this. You getting your hair combed out, you hit that like that kink. This is snatching, snatches, snatches your head back. This is this is what God Source Universe does, yeah, or has done to me every in the past, over the past, I would say, last 15 years of my life, because I like wasn't heeding the warnings. I wasn't like I wasn't falling back like I was supposed to, right? And I keep saying this, and it's going to be something you're going to continuously hear me talk about, is how God Source Universe plays red light, green light with you. So on the green light, obviously you move, you take action, you create, you do whatever you're intuitively led to do. And then on the red light, you stop, you fall back, you rest, you go in and you like take inventory of like where you're at, what you got going on, what is or isn't working for you, all the aforementioned things, right? But I wasn't doing that in any of the past years. Last year, I did it. I was starting to become very cognizant of like, I don't know, something's I got to do something different here. But this year is the first year that I've been like fully cognizant of it, right? So all the other years back, like I said, 15 years back, 16 years back, something would happen where God source universe would snatch me back, and be like, okay, so since you want to be hard headed, since you don't want to sit your ass down, like I'll fix this little wagon up. And the way that God source universe forced me to sit my ass down was by something happening to me, like health wise, and so I would be forced. I'd have no choice but to lay it on down for like months, because I was out of commission from like a surgery or two surgeries or three surgeries, something frequently was happening that was putting me out of commission because like I just wasn't listening. I wasn't obeying the signs. I wasn't taking the stop and the pauses and taking inventory when I was supposed to be doing the stop and the pause and allowing myself to recalibrate and to rest and to let things breathe and to let things marinate and let the momentum build and to let just all the aforementioned things to take place. And so that's when God source universe comes in and provides a means for you to lay it on down and sit down and become kind of immobilized by any means necessary, because you heeded none of the warnings prior to this point. And so yeah, I don't recommend it. I don't give I'm a human design projector, and the trial and error, learning things from trial and error is my way of like moving through life, and I highly do not recommend that little lesson that I've learned, because it for 15, 16, 17 years of my life, like it was a surgery every freaking year. It was a health issue every freaking year. It was like something was raggedy with me every single year, because like I was like beyond burning myself out, and I was hitting up against the resistance wall, but like I was continuously trying to like push through and push forward and do the things, and like, nah man, that's not it. Like you have to be able to fall back and allow yourself to rest and marinate and take stock of things that are and aren't working for you. And this is how we came to this point. We went down like a side street, but we looped back, and where we loop back from is the reason why I have been avoiding doing the live stream thing, is because it was like a, I don't know, like it's slightly like a fear for me. And I hate saying that because fear is an illusion and it's not. I don't like it. Like I said, it stems from past life stuff, but it's something that since I've been cognizant of this pattern and I'm like, oh, Saturn's on the come up, I've been frequently forcing myself to take stock of, okay, where am I at? What do I have going on? How am I feeling? Where am I feeling resistance? Where am I feeling like I'm holding myself back from being great? Where am I feeling like I'm hoeing myself? Where can I give myself more room to expand and be great and take up space and allow myself to be seen? And then, like, frequently, like, I get pulled to go live, go live, go live, go live, do live streams, do live stream, do a live stream. And not every day. It's not like an everyday thing. It's not like an every week occurrence. But regardless, just the general thought of, it's just me and everyone's just there to see me, and the act of performing, like, this is what Leos love. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Every Leo's like catching a stray here. It's not, but is these are the facts though. Like, Leos love being in the spotlight. They love for it to be like, look at me. I've all the things of it, right? But like, that's not me. It's not me at all. None of that is like appealing to me. Everything about that for me to personally happen to me is like shuddering, shudder filled feeling. for me, and I've done my damnedest. I've tried really hard to avoid it. And then when I last night I dug deeper and I was like, why am I trying to avoid this? What is it? What's at the let me dig more. What's at the epicenter of this feeling? Why am I avoiding? What is this avoidance from? Where does it stem from? Why is it that I feel this way? And mainly because, I don't like the I don't want to seem like a self-centered person. I don't like the look at me ness. That's not me. No shade, no judgment. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm, but it's not for me. And that was my one of my reasons. But I'm gonna keep it a buck hundred. My biggest reason was because I don't I was afraid of how others would see me, perceive me, speak of me. Feeling like I just wasn't good enough, or, that I didn't have enough to offer, or what it was that my gifts and abilities wouldn't be perceived and received the right way, that, people were going to throw stones and get the pitchforks out. Again, like I said, like this is really deep seated past life stuff I've been like allowing me to kind of hold me hostage, and keep me, like, I'll just stay over here. No, don't look at me. Don't look over here. I'm not here, kind of situation. Because this is what it's the thing of, if I don't move, they can't see me type of situation. And for so long of my life, I've had to blend. I've had to keep a low profile because it wasn't safe. The world was not ready for who and what I truly am, and what it is that I bring, and everything attached to me. Point blank period. And I was made aware of that at a really young age. And so I became very, very good at hiding in plain sight. And I liked it. I liked being able to go under the radar. I liked being the power behind the throne. I liked being behind the scenes. I liked being a spiritual being, where I was invisible to others. But that's not the case anymore. And God Source Universe has been making it abundantly clear daily. Like, it's time for you to step into the spotlight, step into the spotlight, step into the spotlight. Like, nah. And that's how we got here. But like I said, this is a thing that is stemmed from having some really heavy hitting moments of introspection, reflection, and deep analyzation of the self, of oneself, of myself, to come to this point of realization, like, I still got to work on this. This is a thing. Because it's like I could go no further where I was at. I was hitting up against the wall of resistance, hitting up against the wall of resistance on, I don't know, kind of like I just had gone as far as I could in whatever level I was keeping myself at. And that's not the move that I'm trying to make either. And there's a lot of people, places, and things that need to find me and see me, and have access to the things that I'm producing, creating, and the gifts and abilities that I have, that probably would not have the opportunity to meet me or see me if I didn't take the jump, the plunge, to start putting myself out there more. And while it's still very much a uncomfortable thing, I'm pushing through it. And that's something that I just want to tell everybody else, is that resistance and feeling uncomfortable in things is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not because it's not for you. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's not because, like, God Source Universe has forsaken me. Why me? Kind of situation. Like, it's not that at all. Really, it's not. You will feel resistance. You will feel uncomfortableness. You will feel discomfort. You will feel fear when you embark on a new level of self, when you are breaking through barriers, when you are getting out of a phase of your life that you've been really comfortable in, when you have been playing a particular character for so long, it's uncomfortable. It's like growing pains, of what is it, like the locust breaking out of the shedding the skin, it's like this, like a crab molting its shell. It's this, metamorphosis that's taking place, and it's not exactly the most comfortable thing, and it's not I don't think it's supposed to be. But a lot of times that's something that I think can deter us from moving forward, is once we hit up against a little bit of resistance or a lot of bit of resistance. And it feels like, well, I just shut it down here because clearly this just isn't supposed to be for me, or I'm not supposed to be doing this, or this, that, and the third type of excuse or analyzation of the situation when we come up upon any type of uncomfortability in a process. And that's not so. I beg everybody to take the time to reflect back and look at some times where you came up against this feeling of having to face fears, or having to level up, or having to step out of your comfort zone, or having to do things that make you feel uncomfortable, and how many times did you shy away from it just because of that exact feeling, because it felt safer to stay in that character, it felt safer to stay in that space, it felt safer to stay where you're at, to not draw attention to the self, to not allow the self to be seen, to not, shine and take up space. And I hate saying take up space, because this, we can't have nothing nice. And it is like the fakes have soiled the the terminology that we had. Now we got to come up with something else, to sound legitimate. It's like the scammers who say kindly at the end of their emails, and now every time you see the word kindly, you're immediately like scam, scam, scam. It's this. There's certain words now that, like, I feel like people are becoming leery about, suspicious of, because so many fake spiritualist leaders, guides, and gurus are using it and soiling and tarnishing the damn words. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to come up with something else other than, but you understand what I'm saying here. Just because you didn't want to allow yourself to walk into the room and people turn and be like, who's that? And that's what a lot of us, I'm gonna keep it a buck 100, a lot of the 250, a lot of you guys right now currently are coming into your energy, and others outside of this, but a lot of you guys are coming into the ability of your energy being so noticeable. Like when you walk into a room, people are doing this thing like, who's that? You have to you have to be okay with that. It's a little uncomfortable, but maybe is less uncomfortable if you just talk to the people first, because I feel like people are just gonna stare at you. Speaking from personal experience, like I get a lot of people just staring, and one of my friends told me, she's like, it's because your like aura is, your energy is so big, like people who, I don't know, I'd love to see what people who don't have, like, who aren't conscious of their spiritual gifts and abilities see, but my friend is very good with her spiritual gifts, but she was like, people probably just stare at you because, it's like big, you're really big. And another lady mentioned that to me as well. She's like, who are you? You got big energy, but you're not flexing it, type of situation. And it's something, that's the thing with a lot of us, is that a lot of us have that star power energy, and God source universe gave it to us because we don't want it. And I know it sounds like the most paradoxical oxymoron ever to be said, but this is like a real thing. The ones who crave it the most, and where we're at now, where we're transitioning to now in life, the ones who want it, crave it, will do anything for it the most, are the ones who are losing that power, and the ones who will not have it. It is because, look at, just take a damn look, just look around. We have so many examples of why that becomes an infinitely terrible situation. You give power and influence to the wrong people. Look how it turns out. is not everybody needs to be famous. There's so many people who don't need to be famous. There's so many people who don't need to be having like worldwide recognition. There's so many people who don't need to have the ability and the financial means to influence and change the world and people. And so, that's what we're in the process of deconstructing and breaking down right now at a global scale. And so, though going forward, the way that it's going to the tides are going to turn is for the ones who don't want it. The ones who don't want that at all are the ones who have been bestowed it and are being bestowed in this level of star power. Like, you've had it energetically for probably your entire life, but like now it's being activated to where it's being recognized in the physical, so that you have the ability to like manifest it in. You're going to be able to step into this leadership position or this position of authority and power and have the positive recognition across the board. But this all to be said of my point in starting this entire thing was about not being afraid of what people might say about you. Or I have a card in my V Squad Oracle deck that I made that says something along the lines of don't deflect your shine. Don't hide your shine to deflect any haters. You're a star. It was like the star power one. But it's essentially this of not trying to like hide your light and shine just to deflect any haters, or not to draw, any undue drama towards you. Or is again, my thing was like, what are people gonna say? Because again, deep seated past life stuff, and it's a real thing. But you gotta get to the point of where you just don't care anymore, and it's easier said than done. Obviously, today, like, I was shaking like a leaf when I hit that go live button on TikTok. I'm gonna keep it about 100. I sure was. I sure was. I sure was. But I did it. I did it. And because I had to think, like, I've been so mean to myself, more mean than anybody externally could ever be to me. And once I realized that, I was like, let me go ahead and hit this live button. I tossed and turned about it last night because I had said I'm gonna go live for the new moon in Taurus and do my first live stream, and make it a little treat for new moons and full moons, and see how I like it, test it out, get it over with, kind of situation. It 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 was one of the things that I had to sit back and say, it doesn't matter, because literally there's nothing anyone can say that I have not said to myself at some point in time. I was really not great to myself for a long time. I didn't love myself, and I didn't see myself. I didn't find anything that was great about myself for a really long time. And when I just kind of sat back and reflected on that, I was like, hey, it is what it is, because I was my own worst bully, and I was the one that was really mean to myself. And that level of like self hate or self disgust is a level that I nobody on the external could ever match. And I just wanted to put it out here to not care about what other people think, or about what other people might feel about you, or about how people might perceive you, because that was another big thing for me, is how are people going to see me. There's like, I still don't post on my actual personal Facebook page that often anymore, because there's just like a whole lot of people on there that are no longer, they don't resonate with me. They knew the character that I was playing, and then again, a lot of these people watched me while I was in the worst parts of my life. I started that Facebook page when I was, I think I was in high school. I graduated in 2010, so like, you know what I mean. These are people that have seen me from ugly duckling to overweight to super drunk to not, you know what I'm saying, to just like in the worst parts of my life. And a lot of them just enjoyed it, and just like watched the show, but hey, look at your girl now. But yeah, I still don't even like go on my personal my personal Facebook page anymore and post things on there because it's a lot of people who they don't know me like that. And but then I also have like a bunch of followers on there, so like I try to, whenever I post something on my personal Instagram page, it does post to the Facebook because of that. Outside of that, I'm like, because they like it just, I don't need that. And I had to ask myself, like, is that me just being avoidant because of the situation, or nah? But I think more than anything, it's me knowing where I'm wanted and received, and where I'm not. And it feels like that's not a place that I'm welcome, wanted, and perceived. Maybe it'll change and maybe it won't, but energetically I go where I go where I feel energetically wanted and accepted. And I think that's something that everybody should do. Period. Feel it out wherever you're at. Don't just stay committed to one social media platform just because that's where you had the most. Like, I had quite a few viral videos on YouTube, and I think one of my most viral videos was just because people were talking shit about me in the comments. But honestly, like, that's what it was. People were resharing it, and just so that their friends could like talk shit about me also. Honestly, I saw all the views and like I looked at it one time and then I just snickered and then I just kept it moving, and I haven't looked at it since. Yeah, so this is what I mean. But don't stay. My point in saying that was I had built up a following on Facebook of people who were with me on the, ongoing through this spiritual awakening process. At that time, that was in like 2022, like COVID, post COVID time. But I got the F up out of there. Yeah, because like I said, energetically, you got to go where you feel the resonance pull, and sometimes it means leaving a platform that you have built a following up on, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, don't be afraid to start over, on a different platform or with like a new page or with X, Y, and Z, you know what I mean? Because that's, you have to do that. That's a process. That's a part of the process. But just don't allow your fear of how people are going to perceive you, or what people might say about you, and what it is that you're doing, or what it is that you're creating, or what changes you've made, or what is or is not in alignment with you, and this new version of you, this new version of yourself anymore, because at the end of the day, like, this is your life, and you've performed for these people long enough. They don't know you, and chances are a lot of them will never know you, nor do they want to know you. So don't worry about it. You have to be in this process for you. You have to be in this for you. You have to be wanting to make these changes and show up for yourself, for you. You got to be the one that you're doing this for, not for other people. And yeah, that's what I had. That's all I wanted to talk about. And I hope this was helpful, and I hope that it landed with some of you on something. But face your fears and don't allow yourself to be held back by the things, even if they are deep seated past life traumas and wounds. Push through it, push through the uncomfortable feelings, push through the resistance, push through the fear, push through the anxiety, push through the nervousness, and speak your truth and show up for yourself, and show up, even if you are nervous, even if it does feel scary and uncomfortable. Push through your comfort zone and allow yourself to be seen. And for my 250, step into the spotlight, even if it is uncomfortable. Face your fears, because I always say this: your enemies know them. And so if you don't acknowledge them and get a hold on them, you can best bet that your enemies will use them to their advantage. So just grab the bull by the horn, all pun on the Taurus new moon today. Grab the bull by the horn and like ride that. You make that bull your ride. you ride that bull, and you ride that bull into victory, damn it. Like, yip, we run it, we ride it, Don, and smack him on the butt. He says, yeah. Yeah, and then you ride into the success and victory, Six of Wands energy, with your head held high into your newfound life of success and abundance, all because you had the courage to take the bull by the horn into victory. Listen, you got this, you guys. Keep going and don't give up just because you're hitting resistance and you have to do things that feel uncomfortable. It's all right. God Source Universe is gonna support you and send you help and support in the most auspicious ways and unexpected ways. And you just have to keep the faith and keep believing in the process, staying committed to the process, even when you can't see the progress. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget you can apply to work one-on-one with me, and you can purchase the V Squad Oracle deck in the link in the link tree, and the Evolve or Repeat merch, and the Love and Light but Ready to Fight merch, and the New Earth Guidebook to Healing and Ascension is available on Amazon. And all the new products is on Linktree as well. A lot of PDFs, a lot of templates, a lot of other things are coming. So be sure to check that out on the Linktree or on the Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon. Huh? All right. I'll see y'all till the next time. Squad.